we live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen in this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to it.
Hello, hello. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Yes. Thank you
Yes,
for having me.
subscribe to the channel. Any reviews or recaps I don't cover on my channel, it's because we're on Mrs. Best channel covering those. We have Basketball Wives, we have The Valley, Real Housewives of Miami is coming back, which will be on Mrs. Best channel. And Mrs. Best is also going to pick up King's Court, which is, a TV show spinoff from Queen's Court hosted by Rodney Pete and Honey Robinson Pete. We are really happy to do that show because we enjoyed it when Lisa Ray was on there. So, yeah, we're happy to do that for you. And while you're subscribing to both of us, y'all know we always have to pay homage to our girl Shana underscore MCD, who is here on YouTube. She has two channels. She has her current channel and she has her backup channel. Please subscribe to both channels. We want to keep Shana here on YouTube, you guys. We want her to monetize. This is a lot of work. I'm telling you guys, as someone who is not monetized, nowhere close to being monetized, this is a lot to do when you have a full-time job, you have a busy schedule. I'm about to pick up a second job, and I'm about to go back to school as well. So I have a lot going on, y'all. And to do YouTube, Mrs. Best can attest to this because she has the same schedule.
It's too much.
It's a lot. Not be making anything off of this. So you guys, we're not trying to, pressure you into subscribing, but please subscribe, especially if you're here every week and you're watching our content. It's free. We're not charging you to subscribe. I'm not charging for memberships. I'm not doing any of that. We just need the subscribe count so we can monetize and start getting paid for this. So we really do appreciate it if you guys would share the video, like the video, especially if you like what you see. I get a lot of comments saying you guys really do enjoy our content, and we're hoping you subscribe from that. We do. So I'm going to shout out Shani. She was here first. Thank you, my girl, for being here. We appreciate you. Kevin Reynolds stopped by. Thank you so much, Kevin. We appreciate you. I got your DMs, and I'm going to do an unpopular opinion on some of those topics because I do, want to talk about, especially since my Real Housewives of Atlanta, Britt Edie, and all this mayhem she is causing, which I am not mad at her. After reading the case, I'm not mad at her, actually. That's what Bravo get. But anyways, we ain't here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is episode 14. We are getting through this. I think they only have 4 more episodes to go. Thank God. This is called Chapter 2, Renew. So they're still in Grenada. And we open up the scene with Angela. Angela is trying to call Charles because it is their 8th anniversary. And she is calling, and she is calling, and she is calling, and he is not answering. And I'm just like, Angela, why would you do this today? Like, I don't know if I'm embarrassed for her, or I don't know if I should just be like, this ain't what you're supposed to do on camera, but you giving away all kind of warning signs that this ain't it. And I would be embarrassed. I would if I'm constantly calling. Like, she is literally calling back to back to back to back, and he's not answering. So, Mrs. Best, since you are married, how would you feel if you on camera, you trying to call your husband, and he is not answering?
Um, I don't think that's ever happened actually. Shout out to Also Best. Good for him. That has never happened in my relationship. I think that anniversaries are not about gifts. I think that they are just about acknowledging the person that you're with, kind of like your own little Valentine's Day within the year type of thing. Um, you don't have to gift or anything. All you have to do is answer the phone. They don't have kids that are at the age that would like keep him so busy. And I'm sure because he is a retired ball player that he has to answer the phone to manage his businesses. I'm sure he's looking at his phone. So I don't know. The thing of it is, people like Angela. I like Angela. The only part of Angela that is cringy to watch is her interactions with Charles. I He doesn't seem to want to be in the marriage, but maybe being in it because of the shared children or the fact that she's helping with the kids, because he doesn't seem to want to be in the marriage. He doesn't seem invested. Her doing the calling on camera though, I wish she would have done it like off camera, filmed, and then came back to it. Like, if you're not going to tell us what's going on, but then you're going to show us every crack in the foundation of your marriage, we're going to inquire. So it would be better if she just entirely faked it. Stop. Don't talk about them. Do what Shamia did with Gerald, because I know they shit ain't perfect either.
Somebody else did this on Real Housewives of Atlanta where they were calling their husband and like was talking to the voicemail and talking about I'm having a bad day and I just wish you would answer the phone I think it was Kenya when she was married to Mark. I feel like y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that Kenya when Kenya first got married? She was calling her husband and he would send her the voicemail and she would talk to the voicemail. That's
Kenya
what this
did that
reminds me
stupid
of.
stuff with Mark. She sure did. Like,
Yeah, that's the ladies. Please don't do this on camera. Like this is not. First off, if you gonna do this, send your husband a text message saying, "Hey, pick up this phone. I'm finna call you on. You know I'm on this camera. You know I need this check. Come on, stop playing with me." I'm just saying. What bothers me most is that she tends to put him on the door. I do not fault Charles for the responses. She deserves it, actually. Oh,
she knows what she's getting. Kevin Reynolds always be bringing the best points up because she knows exactly what she's getting with him. If he allegedly had a child or cheated or any of that, she's accepted it. We hear Phaedra say later in the episode she didn't even know that Charles had a wife. So he's obviously going out and doing things without her in a way that doesn't present himself as married, and she chooses to accept it. He has shown he don't like her. He don't respect her. She get on his nerves. And so he is frying his way out of it. He just frying chicken constantly. Every time we see this man on TV, he frying some sort of chicken to get the hell away from her. I'm tired of the fakeness. Just keep it real, Angela.
so I do think it's this too. I don't think he wanted to be on the show, and I don't think he wanted his business industry, like his marriage and everything, and the rumors that surround him. I don't think he wanted to bring light to that. So I do agree with that comment. However, when you are in Angela's position where you're $2 million in debt because you're buying investment properties, which, as I said, that's a normal thing in real estate. I don't know if anybody's ever been in real estate before, but that is a very normal thing. Banks tend to give you a higher credit limit when you're a realtor because they know that you're going to work hard to return on your investments, especially if you have any type of record numbers. They're going to extend your credit limit. So it is a very normal thing for Angela to be in this debt. However, that puts a lot of pressure on her to sell those homes. And I really believe that's why she came on the show, to make sure she put awareness and everything, because people love being on TV. People love to say, oh, a Real Housewives of Atlanta star sold me my home and everything. People love that. So I think that that's realistically why she came on the show, which is smart. I mean, if you ain't got nothing to lose, why not? So I do agree with what you guys are saying, but I do think that this was for Angela to get a leg up and make sure she does profit from her other businesses. And a lot of them do. A lot of the women on here do the exact same thing. So I don't blame Angela. I just probably want to put my marriage out on Front Street. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat here. Yep, and Kenya was blaming the show for Mark answering. No, she sure was. Yeah, she sure was. And then he later ended up being on the show, which was weird. And now he was trying to be on some other reality TV show that never got picked up. So yeah, he was an interesting one. I will say Kenya, that they were definitely a match. I just think I think timing just didn't work in their favor because they were definitely each other's, kryptonite. They really was. Phaedra also says wasn't she hasn't hung out in Charles in 10 years. Oh. But Phaedra said that made me wonder some things. I don't know. That sounded weird coming from her. It really did. I don't know if it was just me, but that sounded weird coming from her.
Either way, they've been married for 10 years and was together for years prior. So he would have been in a relationship. But I don't know. Angela needs to do, we don't need the husbands. Like, we
We
just need to
don't
know that you're
necessarily, not
married.
all the time. Not like,
Right.
if you want to film like a dinner scene or if you want to film a family event, fine. But we really, honestly, Angela with her reads and her business acumen, drama with her family, even though she had recently lost her mother, which our condolences to you, Angela, because we know your mother was, a prevalent part of your storyline when it came to you and your daughter. But we really didn't need Charles, really, because Angela can carry the show on her own. But we're gonna move on, you guys, because we can be on Angela for a whole long. Um, how would she know that Charles is married? You ain't been in the streets, Paige. I think because they only been married for what 8 years, and they did go through a separation in those 8 years. So maybe it could have been a circumstance where he probably wasn't claiming Angela, maybe through the separation, or maybe before they got
If
married.
you married to somebody, then the world should know that you married. And if the world don't know that you married, then whoever in the relationship is making the world unaware of the marriage needs to be appropriately addressed or left.
I agree.
Like, and
Claim
that's
me.
the only thing. Claim the person you with. If you're not going to, then what the hell is the point in wasting their time and your own?
I agree. I agree 100%. Oh, my laptop is about to die. Look at me. Sorry, y'all. Hold on 1 second. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the event. So basically, the hosts of the trip, which is Shamia and Kelly, they are putting together for the group to be divided so that way they can go on separate excursions on their trip. So we have one instance where we have Shamia. She's going to take Portia, Cynthia, and Phaedra to a waterfall, which was absolutely stunning. And then Kelly is going to take Drew, Angela, and Britt on a cooking class. Because, Kelly is a chef. She owns her own restaurant, and it's Chicken and Waffles in McDonough, Georgia. I cannot wait to go because I want to try it. Because she's been in all kind of magazines and then got all kind of awards and shit for this restaurant. So I need to try it. But so the groups are pretty much splitting apart, and we have. I'm gonna stay on Shamia. So Shamia's Carter talking about Angela, talking about Charles, and how Phaedra said, as we mentioned in the chat here, that she didn't know that Charles was even married. She said Charles is a great time and everything. She's always had fun with him, and it was just kind of weird. In the instance when Phaedra was saying, that's what I said. It's weird to really bring it up because it was like, are you trying to imply something? Like, what are you talking about, Phaedra? It's so weird. And then she also mentions Kelly and how loud her voice is, and I'm gonna be like, Kelly, look, Kelly do got a loud ass voice. I'm sorry, she just does. She hollers and screams, and it's like, girl, if you don't bring that down a notch, yeah. And in Kelly's band, we have Angela, saying it's her anniversary and how she wasn't able to get Charles on the phone. And I said, Angela, don't tell women these kind of things. I'm just like, don't tell them all your business. Don't say that, Charles, because when they watch it back, they're gonna be like, "Oh, damn, it's worse than we thought." Because she really played it down a little bit when they were in the van, but it was like, come on now, Angela, I wouldn't have done it. Mrs. Best, would you have told the ladies your business like that?
Hell no.
Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments here. Hold on. Britt telling her husband, "You told me to leave my diamonds at home, girl. Do you really have diamonds to bring with you?"
Leave your grade A cubic zirconias in the house and make sure that you have it in your jewelry box that you might have got from Dee Dee's discount. We wasn't checking for you. And why would you make a comment like that going to an island full of black people just like you, dumbass? That bothered me so much that she said that, because it's like, what you mean leave your diamonds at home? You think people gonna steal from you? Don't put that all our other black countries. Don't do that, Britt. I don't like anything about her. So I'm gonna be quiet now.
No, please go off because that kind of pissed me off as well. Shamia, you have some dough and your husband has money. Why can't you buy some clothes and underwear while you out on vacation?
She ain't got permission.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I said, obviously, she can't spend that kind of money out there because y'all have to understand the show is paying for them to go on this vacation. Like everything's covered by Bravo. And a lot of the times when you go to the Caribbean to buy clothes and stuff, it's expensive. Like probably the same dress that you would get at like a Ross or something like that is probably $40 more when you buy it off, the street corner. Unless you know how to do it, how me and Mrs. Best do it. We not tourists. We from here. Knock that down $20. Don't be playing with me. I'm not a tourist. Where we learned that from? Was it Real Housewives of Dubai? When we said because I'm telling you, I love going to like flea market ish kind of inspired places. And when the episode of Real Housewives of Dubai happened, where I think it was Lisa, she was taking her
It
mom,
was, yeah.
and the man was trying to upcharge her, and she said, "No, no, no, I'm not a tourist. I live here." Knock that down $30. He said, "Okay, yeah, that's how we would do it."
Let
Mhm.
me tell you, my family is African. We believe in haggling the price down. When we leave the country, via my husband, he just be standing behind me looking like, figure it out. Get that price down. We are not playing full price. Kanata cosplayer. Kevin
I had
Reynolds
to
has
come
had
down the
it
screen for
with
a
Britt
minute. Kevin
Beattie.
Reynolds, you ain't right for that. Kelly's boobs are really, really big for her body. I was like, dang, girl. Yeah, she do need to get a reduction because that's,
Kelly is botched
yeah.
from her strange duck lips to her eyebrows being microbladed on incorrectly to her facelift messing up. Like she should, and she's a pretty girl. She shouldn't have done that to her body.
She was, oh, I looked at old pictures of her. She was gorgeous. I don't know why y'all want to pick at y'all faces. Cameron Diaz said it best. I'd rather have a face that's aging than a face that do not belong to me. I know that's right, Cameron Diaz. You better tell the girls stop doing this. It's making way too much headway of life where we don't recognize you anymore. Kelly live in a house with a bunch of girls. Yeah, she loud. Yeah, oh yeah. True.
Clock it, Kevin, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Because how you a black woman with a short pixie cut, you lost your luggage and you still able to just look like you popping. And don't sit here and try and make me believe that her and Portia are the same size either. That
I was
dress
gonna
should
say
have
that
been
was not
smaller.
Portia's dress at
Ain't
the end.
no way.
I was like, that fits you way too well, and Portia is taller than you. Come on, let's not do this, Shabia. You know that. I'm so glad you brought that up because when she said I borrowed this from Portia, it was like, no, unless Portia buys her clothes way too tight, which sometimes she does. Like Portia's dresses be tight on her, but that was way too much of a perfect fit, Shamia. I'm sorry, I don't believe that that was Portia's. I believe that was yours. So yeah, I do agree with this. I do agree with that too. Leave the sir. Y'all so crazy. If you're bachelor and you don't have no draws, go bust them and wash the ones out, and you have every night. Why go bare naked? We don't believe she did. I don't believe because she's married. I don't believe a married woman is out there just free willy nilly and ain't got no drawers on. I just don't see that. I just don't see that.
Well, I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't always wear drawers, especially if I'm in a dress. However, it depends on the circumstance situation. Like if it's an event, why wear them? Let the kitty cat breathe and purr. Hey, shit, it's true. Hey,
I do not subscribe to that. Do not, people
you know
wear
how many women go
people wear
without
your
underwear?
undergarments. Wear your undergarments, please. Especially if you live in hot ass Phoenix, Arizona. Wear your undergarments, please. Wear your
Well,
under.
that's different. I don't live in no desert. I live in the perfect climate, so
Yes.
I can do it.
No, it all them sweat and juices. We don't need to see a trail leaking behind you. We don't need to see all of that. I'm just saying.
Not a trail. Hold on. That indicates maybe get your pH checked. Go to your OBGYN. What is going on? Wait, what?
I'm just saying. Because never mind. That's too much. Okay, they have shops at the hotels to buy clothes. They do, but that should be expensive though. It really does. Though. Sorry, I need my cat covered at all times. I know that's right, shame the tell the truth, shame the devil. But anyways, we focus on Kelly's part of the trip, where she takes the other ladies. They're going to do a cooking class, and they have two of the natives there that are teaching them a dish. And them men put it out there. They are single. They, all of them are beautiful. Kelly and Drew, who are still technically legally married, are up there coming to the front of the line, talking about, oh yeah, and they're saying how the men of Grenada are extremely beautiful, and they are. They're very beautiful people. Very beautiful people. The two that were there, I'm sure we had better picks, but not my type. But if that works for Kelly and Drew, fine. And so they go to the table, and Britt kind of brings it to a point where And this is where I crack up because she's like, I haven't been in the best place with Angela and Drew and all. And I'm looking at her like, here we go. Why are you starting this drama? You can't just sit there because she was picking at everything. She said she couldn't eat the food because she doesn't eat beef or pork, and they didn't have any options for her. It was kind of like, and Kelly was like, "Well, you just, can you just try like the vegetables in the meal and everything? And it's really good." And I'm just looking at Kelly like, "Girl, save your breath," because this girl wants to be difficult. And you could tell. And you know what's funny? I think she wanted to do this. I think she wanted to go in the waterfalls with Portia and Shamia, but I guess maybe they picked their names out of the hat and that's who they decided to win because it was very much the old, like, consider the old school versus the new school. That's how they were divided. And I feel like Bravo kind of did that on purpose, but you could tell Britt wanted to go to the waterfall. She didn't want to go here with
I mean, Kelly explained that they had them room together based on people who they didn't think would room together. And then she explained that based on going on the trip or doing the activity that day, that they had mixed it up. So it's Britt probably did want to go on that waterfall, but Britt will complain if the humidity from the air causes her to have a bead of sweat on her forehead. Britt will complain about anything. I think she just wants to be relevant, and that kept showing throughout the entire episode, and it made my teeth itch. It just did.
mm, mm. Cannot blame guys. Can't blame you, Frank, because that was crazy. So they then addressed something else, which I thought was highly interesting. So Kelly was like, Drew, can we address the elephant in the room? Who is this? And she holds up a black napkin. And I said, is that supposed to be a picture of somebody? Like, why is Kelly holding up a napkin? And then it dawned on me because I totally forgot about this, y'all. I don't pay attention to Drew's storyline because Drew be full of shit a lot of the time, so I don't really pick up on anything. But I forgot that Portia mentioned that Dennis told her that Drew was dating somebody named Black. And so they asked about Black, and Drew dumbs it down like she did with Ty. That's just my friend. Like, we're just getting to know each other. We hang out, and that's it. There's nothing going on. Like, I'm still married. I'm still with Ralph. Like, no, they're not doing anything. I'm not going to do anything with Black and everything. And I'm looking at Drew like, you know what, Drew? Let's keep it real. I believe you. I believe you. You know why I believe Drew, y'all? I don't think her and Ralph are done. I don't think her and Ralph are done. I think her and Ralph are very much still together. I think that they're playing for the cameras. And I think this is to make sure Drew gets that check. So I believe 100% that Drew's telling the truth. Mrs. Best, do you think that Drew is telling the truth? Or do you think that this is bullshit and she is dating somebody else?
Personally, I don't think it matters because she's not divorced. She likely is telling the truth. And I'm tired of Drew carrying the show unintentionally. Nobody has anything to talk about. The episode was whack, but cringy toward the end. I am so tired of it because if she is dating this person, who the fuck are they to out her for what she has going on in the middle of a messy divorce? So I don't like this new cast. They give Mean Girls. They give the elite of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta versus a housewife of Atlanta. Leave Drew the fuck alone. Leave her alone before she do her Chicago slide to backhand you hoes. Because I'm getting tired of them. I'm getting tired of it. I don't care about Drew and Ralph's divorce. I don't care about who Drew's dating. I don't care about any of it. I just want to see a document from the actual court and county that this divorce is happening. We get all of the tea with Kim and Croy's divorce. Where's the information for this one? So I'm kind of over it. I want these women to talk about themselves instead of Drew.
Because Drew's carried the whole show and had the nerve to sit at the end in the reunion seating, but we'll talk about that on a different day. So then we go over to Portia and Shamia, Phaedra, and Cynthia. They're talking about all of the donations and everything that everyone is giving. And they talk about Brit and everything. And I did not like that Shamia did this, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know I love me some Shamia. I do, but I did not like that she did this. I did not like, and I'm gonna say it when we get to that scene. But I will say, in this highlight of me not liking that she's bringing up all these donations and everything, I also love that her and Portia has some sort of connection again. Because I do enjoy their friendship. I do. I just think it's one sided. I think it only benefits Portia. That's all. That's it. That's. So we're going to move on. And we get back to the house, and everyone's getting ready because we have to go to dinner and meet the prime minister. So, as we said, Shamia comes out in this gold ensemble, and Phaedra calls it out. She goes, "Girl, you had some clothes." And she goes, "Oh, no, I borrowed this from Portia." And once again, I do not believe that was Portia's dress. I don't believe that at all. But okay, Shamia. So as Shamia is going around the kitchen, she's like, "Y'all, it's shot o'clock. Who wants a shot?" And I guess from what we understand, Britt the first night got really, really drunk. She doesn't do shots. She says she's not a shot person. She's, lightweight. So Shamia says, "I don't want to pressure anybody to take no shots," and looks at Britt and then looks at the ladies. "Who wants a shot? Who wants a shot? I don't want to pressure you, but who wants a shot? Do you want a shot? I'm not trying to remember. I'm not trying to pressure you." And it was like, Shamia, what are you trying to get at? Like, first off, if nobody wants a shot, nobody has to take a shot. They're grown women. Why are you going around talking about, "I'm not trying to pressure you, I'm not trying to do that"? Mrs. Best, what was happening in this scene? Because I kind of felt like Shamia was definitely tripping.
Like I said, birds of a feather flock to fucking together. I will continue to spit this and I will never stop. I will be forever saying it. Shamia is friends with Portia. Portia ain't shit. Therefore, Shamia ain't shit. If you carry the two and add the decimal, they still ain't shit. So, yeah, I feel like Shamia want that girl to get drunk because they know that she's a lightweight. Because I don't like Brit, but Brit has expressed episode after episode, if y'all pay attention, whenever there's alcohol, "Let me stop because I'm a lady or I'm a lightweight." The girl clearly don't like to drink too much. Now, I'm not saying that any of what Brit has done is right. I still don't like her. I think she's horrible for the show. I don't think she's a good person. But it is my personal biblical belief. If somebody says to you they don't want to drink, and you are not in high school, then respect it and do not make them drink. If someone says they don't want to get high, don't make them get high. Nobody has to do anything that you want them to do. So it was very childish for Shamia to even come at that girl about the drinking. But am I surprised? No. The way I got, without exposing everything, because I know you're going to go over it just from the ending of this episode, is a lot of these women, specifically Portia, Shamia, I think all of the women there have figured out that Britt is emotionally unstable, emotionally immature, and she has horrible discernment of people outside of herself. She just really does. The rest of them have figured that out, and they know that if they get her emotional or if they get her drunk, it'll be a problem. So I'm looking at everybody with a side eye. If somebody don't want to fucking drink, don't make them drink. And Shamia should understand that. Why do you want to drink so damn bad anyway if you know your child at home sick, which is gonna come up later? But I'm sure that she knew before that was even exposed on the camera. Why I would be wanting to be sober so I don't miss a phone call, a text message, or nothing. So Shamia is doing the most, getting mad about a drink. But even though we get this beautiful house from her, I know you like her, James, but she has flopped and has not given us much. Okay, we got to see a nice house that her husband paid for. We got to see and hear a new song, but we didn't get to see much of the process of her making it. She spent a lot of her time this season just doing a whole bunch of nothing. And I'm like, Shamia, you worried about what this girl is drinking, but you can't even film with your husband, but he can FaceTime you every other day. I don't understand it. I don't. So I'm kind of over Shamia.
Mm. Yeah, so speaking of Shamia, because this is what we want to get down to, the nitty gritty. So they're talking about, Kelly brings up the fact that they are really appreciative of the ladies for donating, because a lot of people, especially on the smaller islands, were hugely affected. And Shamia points out, yeah, we some of us drive Rolls Royces, have Birkin bags, and I just feel like we could definitely give more and everything. And Britt's listening to this and was all like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Were you trying to imply something?" And she goes, "No, I just said, a lot of us have, great things, beautiful homes. I just mentioned, some of us drive Rolls Royces. You drive one, I drive one, Porsche drives one. So I'm just saying, we could instead to give a little more." And Britt's taking the shade because Britt had a Birkin and drove a Rolls Royce to drop off her one little box to Shamia, and Shamia was like, "Well, here's the thing. Off camera, I took her to Houston's and I talked to her about the donation, and I was a little disappointed that she only brought like 3 rolls of toilet tissue and some maxi pads." And what Britt did that same day is because Shamia said, "Can you give a monetary donation?" So Britt gave her $250 for the monetary donation, which is nice. But I kind of felt like, here's the thing: it was wrong for Shamia to do that. It was wrong for her to call out anybody on what they donated, because it's not about how much you donated, it's the fact that you gave at all. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Could she have done more? Absolutely. I said this in my last video. I kind of felt like that was very pathetic of her. Like, she could have easily went to Kroger and cashed out and got a whole bunch more stuff. Absolutely. Kroger has great sales on toilet tissue, water, all over Atlanta. So yes, she definitely could have done more. But the problem that I have with Shamia is for her to call that out, even in their private dinner at Houston's. I feel like that, to me, is something you should never do, because she did give, regardless if you felt it was enough or not. She did give something. So it kind of made me mad that she would call her out like that. And I get why Britt defended herself. I get why she was upset, because that was messed up. You're not supposed to do that as her friend. You're not supposed to call out your friends about what they give and what they don't give, and then you want to put down their assets or their material possessions as a form of a weapon to say they could definitely give more because you obviously spent 20,000 on the Birkin bag you could have give to charity. So I didn't like that. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
I'd like to address Shani's comment real fast before I move on to that.
Which one?
That is the best comment out there. When Candy says she does not drink, nobody says anything to her. They let it be. So I think that just shows the shift in respect from one cast to the next. And I don't even
Period.
like Candy on the Housewives. She was a little boring, but the respect definitely shows. As for the Brit and Shamia thing, they're both wrong. Here's the thing, like, to an extent, James is right. If you have the means to donate, then donate what you can. Um, just because a person drives a Bentley, just because a person has a Birkin, does not mean that they have money. Come to Deep East Oakland, California. You'll see people walking around in shoes that cost $500 a pop, and clothes that and outfits that may cost more than 5,000. And I'm sure if you go to any hood, yeah, you'll see poverty, but then you'll also see people who have stuff that's not, you know, the knockoff version. It's the actual name brand of things. So just because you have nice things, Shamia, does not mean that someone is able to give. And that supports James's point, because it's like, what if that's all Britt had to give? Like, what if that's all she had at this time? She hadn't had money and deals yet from being on TV. She was filming. And we know now that she had an insurance license that's no good, so she can't really go sell no insurance. She sold her company. We don't really know what the hell her husband does. We've only seen that car. It's not like she got multiples. So I don't feel like Britt was able to give more. And I feel like that's exactly why she's suing Bravo, because the fans didn't like her. The Kenya thing was a permanent stain on her. So it's a money grab, yes. But then on the other end, it's real tacky to call out somebody for the amount that they give, because as quiet as it's kept, Shamia, you could have been like, if you're gonna call her out, I will give what, like, match the donation or something, so that she could have given more, but she didn't do that. So it's like she just called her out to be mean about it, which kind of bothered me. But they're both wrong. Give more. She gave 3 rolls of toilet paper. James is talking about go to Kroger, go to Costco. A 1 pack of Costco toilet paper was about 7 of those little ass packs that Britt bought. And a pack of Costco toilet paper only $19. So go and do more, Britt. But I don't know. I don't like Brittany. I don't like Shamia too much right now. So I just felt like they were both wrong and childish with it.
Yeah. And it was the fact that Shamia was being passive aggressive, like Britt said. She was being passive aggressive because you were calling her out. You weren't calling out Portia. You weren't calling out yourself for the Rolls Royce comment. So you were obviously calling out Britt. And I wanted you to stand 10 toes down. I'm like, yeah, I'm calling you out because I felt like, you know, you could have gave more. And as I said, and when I said I laughed at the fact that Shamia was pulling out Britt's items out that box, I felt like that was to shade her. That really was. You
And
were
it should have
shading her.
stopped there. That
Yeah,
was enough. Like
it was.
Shamia doesn't understand. She made her point. She had her moment. You threw the shade. In addition to throwing the shade, you talked to the girl off camera about this, as she said in confessional, and apparently let her have it about that. So then you want to come and bring it up again. Like personally, I don't like this type of housewives. I'm gonna call it the new era of housewives, where it seems like not just on Housewives of Atlanta, a lot of these women come on here and they're like, I have wealth, but I'm going to talk about it and show it and all of this. When before, we used to see housewives with wealth and they would have things, but it took production or somebody else commenting, in a confessional who's a former another cast member to like bring up the wealth. These people are like, look what I have. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. They're like fucking kindergartners at show and tell. And it's a little stressful, but to do all of this over a donation was just trifling on both of their parts personally.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. But like I said, it's Shamia, you've already embarrassed this girl because you didn't have to take her items out the box like you did on the previous episode, as I said. But like I told y'all, that's something Mrs. Best would do. It really is.
I would. But the difference is, like, I don't care. I'll call people out, and when people call me out, I'll be like, okay, motherfucker, touche, I hear you.
Right.
But I'm not gonna take stuff too far. I think
No.
that's the thing that Shamia needs to learn. If you're gonna be a housewife, you have to understand fun shade to taking it too far and then just being mean. We already know this
Yeah.
girl is broke, as Shayna calls her broke Edie on her channel. I said, oh my God, Shayna. Like we already know Britt ain't got it like the rest of them. Her
Right.
husband's bending over for people. Um, what else have we learned about Britt? She's full of it. She just be lying to lie. Like this girl has done enough damage to herself and they know that. Don't then try to show more of it. I want to know about the dynamic between Shania and her husband while she talking about what people got to give and shit. You
Oh,
don't
I'm
got to be
looking in
so
the
mean.
box. I want to see what you brought with you. I'm not
Thank
saying,
you,
okay, here's the
Channy.
thing. I'm not saying that that's the wrong thing to do, but it was the way Shamia was doing it. Y'all don't understand. Go back and watch that episode.
She
It
put
was
that
the way
box
Shamia
in view
did it.
of the
Shamia
camera.
literally was like, she literally was like, I'm going to pull this out. One, two, three. What else? Oh, some maxi. Okay, one, two. Like, it was literally the way she did it. It was like she was.
No, but I would have done the same thing because that girl gave her 1 pack of maxi pads. What is that gonna do for an island? A pack crit.
Yo, I'm telling you. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said Shabia was wrong because you already. Maybe she didn't think that that thing would have made it on air, and that's probably why she doubled down and felt like I needed to call her out, like in a passive aggressive subliminal way. Maybe that's why she do it. But it was like Shamia, you already took the girl stuff out the box on camera to shade her because that was shade. I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of people didn't look at it that way, but no, Shamia
It
was
was
dead ass
shade.
wrong.
That was
That was
shade.
dead ass wrong for that shit. Because how you can because you didn't take nobody else's shit out their boxes, and you had it all stacked up in your garage.
And
Why you?
Kelly, if we talking about that scene, I
Yes.
could understand why Britt and Kelly may not mess with each other. Because while I don't like Britt, her one friend on this show at time of filming was Kelly. And even in that scene, when Britt left, it should be taking the stuff out the box. She had a key and chuckled with Kelly. If I was Kelly, I would have been like, my friend is going through a lot right now. At least tried to defend her. Kelly was chuckling. Kelly ain't shit either.
Yeah, no, Kelly ain't because you was laughing at shit too. That's why I say, y'all, they are playing with us. They're playing with us. So this argument then turns into another argument between um Portia and Britt because apparently Portia doesn't invite Britt to anything, and so Portia like I don't even have your number, and they talk about the group text about how when they all got added, Portia didn't have several people's names saved, so she asked people like, "Hey, who is this? Drop your name with the number." And apparently everybody ignored her. And I guess Britt decided to confront her in the text, and Portia ignored the text. And so that's being brought up again. And as they're, in the middle of this argument, the prime minister comes over, and Shamia's like, "Okay, y'all, we got to put a pin in it. We got to put a pin in it." And so he comes over, and Shamia asks him to join, and they, me. And he also says to the ladies, "Thank you for all of your donations. We really appreciate it. We thank you for doing this for our country." And the ladies were all, "You're welcome." And then they started asking him personal questions. We learned that he is single. He has two children. And so then the ladies then, in the confessional said, "Who will make the best match for the prime minister?" So I figured let's play that game. Mrs. Best, who do you think would make the best fit with the prime minister out of our seven ladies here?
Mm,
Damn, Shani.
yeah, I honestly, I didn't enjoy this segment, and part of why is because not one of them would align with somebody like that. Uh, but the prime minister was fine.
He was okay.
He was cute.
He wasn't my cup of tea, but he was all right.
I love a good, like, just dark chocolate man.
Me
He was
too.
cute. But the men in Grenada were very attractive. But yeah, for the women, none of these hoes. They come with too much baggage, individually and collectively.
Who
Thank you,
donates a box
Kevin.
of tampons
A
though?
box. That'll get you through a cycle. If you know, you know. Like, come on. She donated a box. That'll get one person in Grenada affected by the storm. That'll get them through maybe half of their cycle, depending on where their flow structure's at. I don't understand why Britt would do that. She would have been better off, Kevin, because that really pissed me off. I'm so glad you pointed that out. That she would have been better off just filling up the box with tampons. Because we know she was in Walgreens. Just empty the shelf, take your arm, Britt, into the box. She don't need bags or nothing. She could have just emptied the tampon aisle at Walgreens if she was gonna do that. One box that pissed me off.
Well, we wouldn't have known it had Shamia not taking it out the box. That's why I said Shamia was being messy. I'm sorry. We would have never known this had Shamia started taking that shit out that box like that. That's why I said that was messy as hell. And I was laughing because, as I said, I know too many people who would do that. I wouldn't do that. I would just put the box up. I would. I would have just wrote her
You
name
too
on it.
polite.
Yeah. I just wrote her name on it. I'd be like, "That's Brit's donation, that one little box." And I would have called, and that would have been it. I would not have taken that shit out of that box like
That's shade too.
that.
You try to make it seem like because I would do that, like I'm the mean friend. Negro, do you hear the shade that you just threw? I would have took it and put it to the side, put her name on it, said that's Brit's little box.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
be
so
shady. Yes, I'm
stupid.
gonna be shady. Yes, but I'm gonna be shady. I'm not gonna tell y'all what's in the box. I'm just gonna say that's Brit's donation. It is. She came in with one box. There's a camera crew here that showed her walking in with it. So it's not like I'm being intentionally shady. I'm just gonna write her name on it and put it up.
But what if Shamia was trying to bring it up at the dinner table again? Because in that scene, Britt did say when she asked if she had more, yeah, I could have it delivered. But then that turned into nothing and $200. So
No, that is true. And then Shamia's defense, that now see, I see it from Shamia's point of view. Because then you bullshitting with me. You didn't have shit to bring, but this one little box. And now I'm taking you out to dinner to ask where's the rest of the shit. And so you just gonna give me a monetary donation. Yeah. I kind of saw that's what I saw both points of view. I really did. I felt like once again, we need more. So you should definitely, if everyone else is donating a lot more than you, then I need you to kind of pull your weight because we are on TV and this is a representation of us. But then at the same time, once again, you can't tell somebody how much to donate as long as they do donate. So I mean, like I said, it's a tricky situation. But like I said, I'm the kind of person that I would have just wrote her name on the box and just put it up in my garage. I just said I wrote everybody's name on their box. I'd just been messy. This is Portia's donation. This is Phaedra's donation. This is Angela's donation. And this one little box is Kelly's donation. Yeah, I did that. Absolutely. So y'all don't think none of them would have been fine for the prime ministers? I feel like they were trying to auction off Portia to them. I really do.
the problem is Portia's now known as an international cougar that gold digs for fun. Shamia been with her African long enough that I feel like she would struggle trying to do that. And the rest of them, this is really a cast of women that are kind of like red flags. Like
Yeah,
Angela ignoring the
different
shit
way.
with
Yeah,
Charles. Like, look at Portia, big red flag. Drew dates in a shady way, but for some reason she don't want us to see that. They're all red flags.
Brit.
Britt did say Mike was on his way. She did. That's and Shamia, if Shamia would have leaned into that, why did you lie? That's the part that bothered me. If Shamia
Yes,
would have came into
yes,
it and was like, now me and Britt had already had a conversation about her donation, but the part that bothers me is that you told me that you would be bringing something and you told me on camera and then you didn't do it and expected me to cover your lie for you. We could
yes,
get with you if you did that, Shamia, but instead you got to go about it in this diabolical Portia suggested this type of way.
right. 100% agree with you. That's why I said there was a way to do this, Shamia. You just didn't do it in that way, and I would have confronted her in that way. Listen, you told me at my house that you got Mike coming over with a whole bunch more boxes, and which I would call her out because what you bring one box for if Mike was gonna come with the rest of the shit? You couldn't have just put that one little
Put
box.
that one box with
Yeah,
the
with the rest of yes, like that just to me, then that to me opens up another can of shade from her because it's kind of like, well, then why would you just bring one box if Mike is bringing the rest of them? Why you just didn't have him bring everything? That's why
especially
I
the
know
Rolls
Brit was full
Royce
of
with
shit.
that damn trunk. She
Yes,
could have filled up the trunk with boxes, filled up the back
right.
seat. Girl,
That's what I said. She full of shit. But I don't like that Shamia still called her out in front of everybody. That was not nice. So we're gonna leave it there. The ladies then are on their way home. She really could have. The
yep,
same
that
way
would have been a
Kelly did.
lot of
Same way
water.
Kelly did that, she could have did that same shit too. When Britt gave Shamia the box, Shamia asked, "This is it?" She did. She did. I said Shamia was shady the entire time when Britt came to her house. Like she was shady. That's why I said Shamia didn't have to do this because you already had your moment of glory. For people like me who pick up on every little detail, I was laughing my ass off at that scene because it was funny to me because it was like you really were shading her on camera. Like to me, you were telling the camera, pan the camera on me. I'm going to show y'all what Britt donated.
Shamia gonna use her lost luggage to get her out of anything that she did that was bad on this trip at the reunion.
Yeah,
Watch. I
yeah,
didn't have my luggage and my baby was sick. Watch. I
yeah.
promise y'all she will.
Yeah, but speaking of babies, Shamia gets a call from her husband. They're saying that they need to go back to the agency because they need to fire this nanny. Apparently, the nanny has the baby with no clothes on, and the room is very cold, and there's no blankets or anything. And her baby has a bad immune system to where she can. It was a long laundry list of illnesses, y'all. I don't remember all of them. I am so sorry, but that's a lot on just one little baby, and she's so little. I just feel, and he said that if her fever doesn't go down, he's gonna take her to the hospital. So Shamia immediately gets upset because she's on vacation. She feels guilt because she's not there helping, and I felt for Shamia in this moment because that is hard. you're trying to work, you're trying to do all that you can, but then you miss moments where your children are sick and your daughter has been in and out of the hospital with multiple surgeries. I get it was a lot. And I was so happy once again that Portia was there to comfort her. Portia definitely did a lot, and all the ladies kind of rallied around her because once they get back to the house, Shamia changes out of the dress and then she puts on her robe and she is just emotional. And here come Britt. Shamia, I know we had our moments and everything, but you just know I love you, Shamia. It don't matter what we go through. I love you. I know your baby is hurting and everything, but I love you, Shamia. I will always be here for you, Shamia. Understand, please understand. I will always be here for you. And I love you. So Shamia is hugging her like, baby, it's okay. How you get that one friend who like to go overboard, a hug, just like, look, shut the hell up. I got you. I forgive you. Come on, shut up. But she said, I will always be here for you, Shamia, always. And we go take a shot. Let's go get a shot. And I'm looking at Britt like, I thought you didn't take no shots. So she guzzled that shot down very quickly, and all it took was for a second for it to kick in. Because then all of a sudden, this lady is showing everybody her damn titties. And I said, Britt, because by the time the camera panned off to the ladies of them laughing, we would go back to Britt, and she fully naked. And it was like, oh, so it didn't take you but a moment to get about them clothes. Are you sure that's not you in them pictures that Kenya had on them poster boards?
Regardless,
Because I'm
how
questioning
the fuck
that.
you gonna cry about a picture showing you in an intimate way, but then you gonna strip butt booty naked and swallow a shot on camera in front of somebody talking about you love her? Bitch, you just met her. I hate females like that. Do not, because I don't use that word love lightly. I may like you, but I ain't gonna love you till I know you and we bond and all of that extra stuff. So I don't like, she tried to steal Shamia's
Yes.
moment because
Yes.
and it's really gross because you don't, for people who are like, people who don't have kids don't get it. That's not true. I don't have kids and I would never take someone's moment that they are worried about their child and make it about me. Why would this lady even want to take shots and chill while her child is back home in a whole nother fucking country, sick and in a situation that's sensitive? Like, you shouldn't be pushing your friend to drink at that time. That would have been a moment to like maybe put on a movie or
A
something, chill
movie.
with her, look
Yeah.
into stuff.
Maybe get some popcorn and and
Tell
try
her
to.
it's okay to leave, something.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it didn't
100.
make no sense. Brit is gross for that. I could barely watch it. She's gross for that. But at the same time, Shamia knows the child that she has and she understands her child's struggles and understands that the dad is not able to be as present as he needs to be, in my opinion. I feel like travel with that baby if you got to. If you don't want to put the kid at risk for travel, like, there should be a dedicated nanny or somebody, because why you gonna have to fire the nanny? Don't y'all got cameras in that big old manor? Like, it's just a lot. So I feel like she needs to go home. I don't understand why she stays on the trip and why it's so important to film.
Right. I would have went home too. Like I would have been home the next day. Let's read some of these comments. Britt over there trying to sound like a bootleg. I'm trying to tell you that's into Kevin. No, it was too much for me. Chenny said, didn't she say something about the show? Sexy exploited her with the pictures earlier in the season. Then why the heck are you doing? What the heck are you doing right now, girl, with your boobs on the counter? Bravo is going to subpoena this episode. Trust me in that lawsuit. Trust me, they are. Showing titties on screen gets sued for sexual harassment. Make it make sense. Exactly. To me, it actually is on par with whatever character. Because keep in mind, y'all, they can only do so much. They can
If
only do
Bravo
so
was
much.
smart, they would compare the reactions of the cast to that girl randomly getting naked to when Kenya showed that picture, because they were very similar. One
Absolutely.
was not worse than the other. So if Bravo is smart, they could throw that shit back on her and reinstate Kenya. This is ridiculous.
It is. All the liquor going to do is make her think about the baby even more and start to get more depressed. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's when she should do a Kenya travel with her baby and nanny. I I agree with this, but then I don't. Because I feel like her husband should be able to handle his little girls while she goes away for a few days. I don't feel like that should be something I can see if she were single, then yes, absolutely. But the fact that she's married, has a whole husband who's supposed to be present, he should be able to look after his kids. My
The thing
uncle
of it
still lives right.
is, she is married to a Nigerian or no, a Kenyan man. Either way, she's married to an African man. My family is Kenyan. Like they're very big on what do they call it, like gender roles and relationships and things like that. It is
Mhm.
very common for men from that country to have the mindset of, oh, I'm going to work, but the wife handles pretty much everything with the kids. Doesn't mean they don't bond with the kids and stuff, but more of that bonding is like more intentional or fun activities, and then a big bulk of the parenting like the woman does, unless there's a son. And she
Mm.
has two daughters, so that's very common in Kenyan culture and throughout many African cultures. I can say that because that is part of my own culture. But if you she knows this about him and has accepted that and is clearly very in tune with how things in his culture are, and he is at least trying, and also with their lifestyle he has to be gone more. So her signing on the Housewives, like, okay, cool, but I'm sure Bravo, the producers and your castmates would be okay if you flew home. You're in the islands of Grenada. It's not like it's that long of a flight from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So like I would have been on the first plane coming. Cause why stay? Filming is not that damn important when it comes to your kids' life, in my opinion. But I don't know. I ain't got no kids, so I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah, me either. So I'm like, I don't know how to work, but I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. But that was pretty much the episode, y'all. It was an okay episode. Um, I'm ready for this season to be over with. I'm ready for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Potomac. Surprisingly, I'm ready for it, and Married to Medicine. I'm ready for those shows, and my Family Empire Houston if they ever decide to bring that back. I would have been on a little looking from that dang. I would have been too. Where are you at, lady? Because we need to talk. Because there's no way my baby should be going through this in your care. But anyways, but that's neither here nor there. But thank you guys for being here. I had so much fun on this live. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. My next live, I am going to do the next gen TV show. I'm going to do episodes 1 and 2 together. I am going to do Somebody's Son. That probably will be the same format. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still in the middle of my move. I have not taken time off work. I am still working. So y'all going to have to bear with me for these next couple of weeks. I'm so sorry.
You're doing the best you can, and you're doing great.
Oh, thank you, friend. I appreciate you. I will see you guys next time. Y'all have a good night. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Was there Basketball Wives this week? There was not. This week, Basketball Wives did not air due to the BT Awards. We're assuming. So, but there was no new episode. So that show will continue on Mrs. Best channel next week. You guys, please subscribe to our channel so you do not miss our commentary. Anything else before I go? I think that's it. All right. Well, you guys
Covered it all.
all right. Well, you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye now.